Hi guys, welcome to another random rambling. And in case you are maybe wondering how is it possible for him to release a video almost every day now, there are two reasons. One of them is a little bit of the more realistic one. I have 2 weeks off from work, so I have a lot more time open. And the second one is proper motivation because of you. I get so much positive feedback that people really like these ramblings, and yes, that's definitely enough motivation for me to keep it going. So another thing that I wanted to get out, I noticed that I have, like, for 2 weeks already, trouble seeing comments and replying to comments. And yesterday I even noticed people replying on comments that I get on YouTube that I don't see the first comment nor the reply. So in case you're wondering that I don't reply to you, I for some reason don't see some of them lately. But to the real topics. Standardized battery life tests are useless. I saw this coming up on G+, and I wanted to talk about it because I already did a few times of posting it on G+ and talking about why I don't like them, and a few people always defend them, and I want to get out of the way why not. The recent case right now is the Note 5, because we see now a few tests showing that it actually has better battery life than the Note 5. Okay, everyone explains it the way the new Exynos is way more efficient than the 805 was, that's why, and the battery itself doesn't have to be as big. The reason though why I don't trust these tests in real life use is it has not been achieved in real life use. Those are standardized tests, and even though some of them are nice because you have the same standards to compare them with each other, but the outcomes are absolutely bollocks. I see devices getting 10 hours of screen on time and the Note with almost 9 hours. Now, show me one person that gets this in normal use. Okay, I get there are people that use the device without any brightness at all, without any syncing at all, without using the phone at all, because maybe some of you saw my Note 5 fake battery life because I just posted it, and it was actually funny because I had like 9.5 hours of screen time, which I actually achieved, and let me explain how I achieved this. My phone was on alarm at a time, so it for some reason didn't turn off, because usually my lock screen would turn off, but due to the alarm it didn't. So I got to work and it was at home, so it was running like 8 hours straight doing nothing. The display was just on at 70% brightness, okay, granted that, but it did nothing. And it drained like 50%. And I already had drained everything. So all in all, like at 90% left or so, or I mean 90% drained, I had like over 9 hours, and I said, look, that's the Note 5, damn impressive. And a few people actually fell for it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that gave me a +1 on this battery screenshot didn't notice that I was faking. A few were a little bit pissed because they noticed it was a fake, but I never intended it to be real because I didn't ever think anyone would fall for it. But the case for it is, don't trust these tests, because the touchscreen isn't used in these tests, and touch input uses also battery life, and it's just not the same. Also, I see they are testing those devices with 200 nits of brightness. Just for example, the brightest device right now can get to 550 to 600 nits. This means it's not even a third of the possible nits they use. And I know a lot of people who use it way brighter than 200 nits. Personally, I use a lot more, I guess I would say at least 400 or so. So if you do real life tests, use a real life brightness. And all these standardized things are just too easy. Also, if they do a video rundown test, every CPU or SoC handles videos different, because Samsung optimized their phones because of AMOLED, and with this they don't need that much battery. On blacks, they are way better optimized for video playback because there's a lot of black in it, and there they can get a lot better battery life. But what I mostly do is I browse the web, and the web is mostly white, so it would drain a lot more. Okay, most of the apps I use then are black, like for example Phoenix or so, but that's still just half of it. So I still stand to it. I don't like these battery tests. I don't believe in them. and I definitely wouldn't rely on them when buying a phone. Get some real life use to compare it better, but yeah, let's not get into that anymore. There are rumors of an LG Edge, or at least that LG is working on a type of edge device themselves. So the pessimist in me would say, why would anyone make another Edge? Because I personally think the S6 Edge is nothing more than just stylish, and it looks nice, but it has no real life purpose, it has no functionality, and you even have some downsides with these odd light breaks on the side and so on. But the positive thinking guy that usually is way back in the room and has nothing to say says, okay, I'll be open-minded. LG, show me what you got. And here's the question for you. What do you think? What kind of edge device will LG release? I don't even want to think about it yet because it's still way too early, but I would like to know what possible positive purpose would you see in making an edge device, and how would it look like? The next, Snapdragon 820. So the latest rumors talk about it being a quad core, not octa core anymore, being 12 nanometers and using the Qualcomm's own Hydra cores. What it is supposed to bring? More performance and better battery life. This is very positive, but I have my doubts after the 810, because Qualcomm never said yes, the 810 is flawed. They said no, it doesn't overheat, it doesn't anything. And yes, it doesn't overheat, but it throttles. So I'm a little bit skeptical, but I really hope the 820 will recover and be as good as the 801 was, or the 805, and we can forget about the 810, which still was a little bit of a disaster. Let's face it, let's be honest. It's not a bad SoC in terms of performance, but in terms of battery life and getting warm, it is flawed. And since we are talking already about the the 820, let's talk about the HTC O2. We heard just rumors about a new HTC device coming with this Snapdragon 820, which is good. And it won't be a one device anymore, but it will be a O2, which means kind of second generation of one devices. I really hope this second generation will bring the necessary advantages or improvements over the old series that a lot of people complained about. First of all, smaller speakers but still good sounding to make the device less tall, because it was just too long in some certain cases. I got used to it on the One M9, but still it could have been, especially the black bar, nobody wants it. So please, HTC, somehow get rid of it. And don't take the excuse, because don't tell me the bar is just there to electronics. Okay, I get it. The more space you have, the more you can put a battery and electronics beside it. But the excuse was a little bit lame, but it's okay. So, but the issue I have with this rumor about this O2, 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is nice. I guess a Quad HD display is given, but it will be a 6-incher according to some rumors. And I don't know where we are going, because just today I just posted this, reshared this, where phones get bigger and bigger and bigger until they will break us down. And 6 inches seeing from HTC is very, very disappointing, because they with 5.2 inches this year were still one of the few companies that did make a reasonable size. So I hope it won't be 6 inches, but the rest sounds good. And if they really can improve on some things, they will still have a hard time recovering from what they did last year or this year. So they really have to step up their game immensely. Not that their device was bad this year or last year, but they need to get some hype to get past being in the shadow of Samsung and all the others. The next question I have to you is, how good does a phone cam have to be? And which one is good enough for you? Because right now I'm using the LG G Flex 2, and from the pics I did so far, I am absolutely impressed. And from a camera of this quality, I don't expect anything more anymore. Because even in 2 or 3 years, this quality would still be great. The shots look great. The autofocus is super fast. But still I see so many people, because the G4 is supposed to be so much better. Hard to imagine, because it's already very close to the S6. The S6 has a phenomenal camera, and I'm pretty sure we will see a lot of great cameras in the next few months. But when is good enough? Because still I see so many people buying a phone just because of the camera. and even compromising on other things. But I rather compromise on the camera for the battery device. But I personally think cameras already 1 or 2 years ago from now or before now were already good enough. But if you have a phone from, let's say, last year, the camera should be good enough in my opinion. For most people it still isn't, and I don't know what they expect to get. I think some of them really expect to get DSLR qualities in a phone's camera, which just isn't possible. And I just shared a video today, but you will see it will be yesterday for you once the video is out, where this video explains why a DSLR will always be superior. That's it for that. A few two funny comments, and I think this video is getting a little bit long already because I spent a little. It's still going, but I will try to make it a little bit shorter. So I had 2 funny comments that I wanted to quickly talk about. It was one, can't remember the name anymore, sorry. On my S6 rant, someone said, "With you that angry, you sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger." And I said, come on, don't tell me you didn't ever notice it before. So many people say it. What to say? And he said, yes, but this angry, you sound even more like him. Personally, I don't think I ever sounded like him. I know a lot of you do, almost everyone. I don't know, nothing to say here. It has gotten less in terms of Arnold references, but they are still there, and I don't think I will ever be able to shake them off. The second funny comment was, someone said it was funny, or he liked the German word of the day because it's really funny to watch me trying to explain German words to English speaking people. And here is my answer. Why is it funny? Because maybe, I guess, no one knows that I'm a professionally trained vocabularist. Yes? Yeah. No, for real. Okay, maybe not. But still, I think I do a quite nice job because I in some ways try to make it a little bit funny, even though it just comes up without me really trying to do it. But yes, I think if it's funny and maybe teaching something, it's even better. But I wasn't intending on making it funny. Okay, so the German word of the day was submitted by one of my viewers, and it is morning. And now I have to think about it, so I don't mix it up because it has a little bit of a different. No, it's tomorrow. Because tomorrow for us in German means morgen. So morgen is tomorrow. But if you, for example, say, when will we meet? And someone says morgens with an S, then it's at morning and has nothing to do with tomorrow anymore. And I see a lot of people in English having trouble to differentiate morning and at morning. I mean tomorrow and at morning. Because sometimes even in German, if you say morgen, because if you say morgen, it is tomorrow. But if you say to someone directly and say morgen, then it means like good morning. So there are a few different variations where you can see it. You can see it as morgens, at morning. You can see it as talking to someone, morgen, or guten Morgen. Then it's good morning or morning. And you can also say as tomorrow, morgens, morgen. So I mixed up a lot. And I think you are even more confused than before. But not to make it any longer, once again, leave me a like. And it would really be nice if you could maybe reshare this video to get more people on board of this, because my big goal, and I talked about it with one of my viewers or commenters on G+, my goal would to be like consistent 1,000 views on these videos. I got it already on 2 videos, but it's far from consistent, and I think I will need a lot more subscribers to get that consistent. But the more you reshare with maybe people who you might think will enjoy these videos as well, because I see a lot of new people coming up, that would be nice to make the damn community even bigger. Okay, until next time, enjoy the day and goodbye.